In this video, we're going to see how for loop works in C programming. So I've created a file in CS50 IDE and named it forloop.c. Okay, we're going to write the code now that will have the for loop. So include standard io.h int main void open and close curly braces. And now if I add another set of curly braces, and let's say I want to print hello world on a line itself 5 times. How would I do that? I can either, let's say if I delete the curly braces, I can either print it like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this code becomes wet. So I'm repeating myself. You know, there's an acronym called DRY, which means don't repeat yourself. So this is no good. So we should find out a way where we can repeat, instead of repeating the code, we can iterate somehow on the same code and do whatever we want to do, like print number of times. So for that we got for loop, and in the brackets here I'm going to say int I and set the value of I to 0. So integer I and setting it to 0, then the expression itself is going to be I is less than 5. So from 0 to 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, these are 5 iterations. So with each iteration I want to add 1 to the value of I. So hopefully if we execute this code, save the file, make the executable, and then execute it or run it, we should be able to see hello world 5 times. So let's do that. We make for loop, it creates an executable file, then we run it for loop. So let's see how many times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it works. But how does it work? For that, we can use debug50 debugger. That's part of CS50 IDE. We don't need to debug the code. We already, it works. We know that, but we can use debugger to go through the code step by step. So I'm gonna type debug50 / name of the executable. Press enter. Sorry, before that we need to make sure that we got breakpoint where we want to start debugging from. So if you just click on the line number where you want to start the debugger, you'll have this red dot, and then the debugger will start. So I'll repeat the command again. Just go up with up arrow and press enter. Give it a second, it's gonna start the debugger. Okay, so on line 5 you can see under local variables the value of I is 0 at the moment. Okay, and if you hover over this arrow, the down arrow, you can see it says step into. If you click into it, it's gonna go to the next step in the code. So it went to line 7 here. So the value of I was 0, then it checked against this expression. 0 is less than 5, that's true. It went to this code block. Now if we again click on this down arrow, step into, we'll see that it runs this code, and that's going to print hello world once. Again, if we click on step into the down arrow, it's going to go back to this here. So the I, if we click again, value of I becomes 1, you can see. And then now it's gonna, if the value of I becomes 1, it's gonna evaluate this expression again. Is 1 less than 5? True. It's gonna print hello world again. It's gonna run this code inside the brackets again. Down arrow, you can see it printed hello world twice so far. The value of I has become 1. You click on down arrow again, goes back to the for loop expression. Click again, the value of I becomes 2. Then it's gonna run this, evaluate this expression. 2 is less than 5. True. Go back to line 7 and print again. So to do that, we're gonna click on down arrow again. It's gonna print hello world. So you can see 3 times is already printed hello world, and value of I is 2. So it will keep on printing until the value becomes 4. When it becomes 5, it's going to stop looping through. So we can do it quickly. You'll be able to see the value of I changing. Click on a downward arrow again. The value becomes 3, goes to the line 7. Click on the arrow again. It prints again. So 4 times. The value is still 3. Click on the arrow again. Goes back to the for loop expression. Click again. The value becomes 4. And then 4 is less than 5. That's true. It's going to print again. So we already printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the value is 4. When it becomes 5, when the value of I becomes 5, this will evaluate to false. That means the for loop is going to stop running. So we can try that. Click on the down arrow again, and it stopped running. So this is how you can see how each loop, or if you're struggling with the program, you can go through the code step by step using debug 50.